Okay, so now we're in lesson 24 in the book. And you guys are really good with the difference between linear and exponential. If you notice on this, I'm not going to do the whole thing, I just want you to notice a few things. If I do an exponential one, these are fractions. If I have 2 to the negative 2 power, that means that it becomes 1 over 2 squared, which is 1/4. 1 over 2 would be 1/2. Okay, so just be careful with that. This is what the parent graph, the parent graph t-table would look like. Now, if you were doing a transformation of this, you do the transformations just like you did on the video I just did a moment ago with the absolute values. So if I had f of x equals, I don't know, we'll just say 2 to the x plus 1. I would still make my t-chart the same way I did, and -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. So if I plug in -2, it's 1/4, 1/2, 1, 2, 4, 8. But here it says that I'm going to make this column over here, my h value here is -1. My k value is 0. So I'm going to be changing the x value by subtracting 1 from it. I know, it's the opposite, it's weird. But -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. And then when you went to graph it, it would be the points -3, 1/4, -2, 1/2, and you do the same thing you did on that. So pause the video for a minute. If you look at it, it's this graph. Amazing, it's number 6. Okay? It's the same thing. Look at what okay, they just made their t-chart. They just started at -2. And it's 1/2. -1, 1, 0, 2. I like to do it this way better than doing it this way. Now you're allowed to do it whichever way, but I find this way not more correct, but easier to do. Now, pause the video and do number 8. Okay, so when you do number 8, did you get this? Okay. I want to look at the difference between this and what if your parent graph, instead of being a growth because my R value is greater than 1, what if my R value was this? So if I did a t-chart for my R value here, and I did -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. If I did it this way, this is going to say that I flipped this upside down. So I'm going to make that 4. Then I would make this 2. And I would make this 1. Do you notice that it's going the opposite direction as of what it was up there? So then this one would be 1/2. 1/4, 1/8. And now maybe you want to put in the -3, which I should have done, and that makes 8 there. Just to make it easier to graph, easier to have this information. If I said that my g of x equals 1/2 x plus 5, I don't know, minus 6. You do the same thing you did before. I didn't give you very nice numbers. Okay, so my h value for this would be -5, and my k value for this would be -6. So I would take x and I would subtract 5, and I would, over here, take my y value and I would subtract 6. So -8, -7, -6, -5, -4, -3, -2. Over here I would subtract 6. So 2, try that again. Yes, 2. And then, then I get -2, then I get -4, then at -5. Now, here some of you may have a hard time subtracting, but if I take half away from this, wouldn't I be at -5.5? -5.75? -5 good question. 625? No, it's going to be bigger than that. I don't have a calculator, so we're going to leave it alone. I know, I'm bad. Okay, so then you would be able to graph this, but remember, it's going to be a decay. It's going to be a decay. What number is the lowest number that it seems to be getting? Do you notice it's getting closer and closer to -6, but it's never going to touch? Look at that number right there. Okay, so my range for this, is not going to be an open, or it's going to be an open, not a closed. Okay, it's going to start at -6 and it's going to keep going up, but it's never going to hit -6. Okay, now I want you to go through with the substitute the other parts of 24 and 25. Work together in your groups. You should be able to get it. Have a good day.